Welcome to Before You Cut Bangs. I'm Laura Quick.
And I'm Claire Fearman.
I am a professional storyteller and I'm writing my first book.
And I'm a therapist, but not your therapist. Full disclaimer, take what you like, leave the rest. I have a warm-up question.
I love a warm-up question.
If one of your tier 1 friends had low level, like would be maybe food in their teeth, would you tell them? Higher level, if they had, you don't count. Well, you're gonna say no. If I had an outfit on that was wrong, would you tell me?
Yes.
No, but if you had something in your teeth, yeah.
Yeah, teeth is a non-negotiable.
Booger?
Oh,
Yes,
gross.
have to tell.
Gross.
Have to tell.
Okay.
Only
He
tier
hates that we
one.
even said that.
Yeah, I don't like the word. Only tier 1, and that goes for the teeth thing too. If you're not tier, I don't know, maybe
I would-
1 or 2. But
If
I mean,
you're keeping the kale in your teeth.
if we're not like pretty close friends, it's going to be as embarrassing for me to talk to you about the kale in your teeth as it is for you to have it in the teeth.
I once walked an entire new restaurant with a person I thought was not a tier 1 friend, but top 3 tiers, but not top 1, and top 1, not 1.
Laura's tired.
Hush.
Okay.
Don't correct me. I had makeup not rubbed in on my face.
Like the stick
Like,
kind?
oh yeah, just right when those OG sticks came out, I was using them like crazy, and got back in my car to check my teeth actually, and realized I
You had
looked like
face
a
paint on?
warrior.
Okay.
Like I had been in a football game, but with blush, and I was like, wow, we're not friends. Like, she is not my friend. She just walked around and let me look like that and introduced me to people, and I was like, okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you is what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
tier 1s for sure. And I ask because Amanda, who I talk about a lot, we were going to a birthday party last night, and she had on a gorgeous dress, brand new. She looked adorable with precious little sneakers and her kid's socks. And this kid's socks were showing from the top of the sneakers. And I was like, you can't do that. And she was like, yeah, I can. And I was like, well, you shouldn't, because it's really detracting from how beautiful you are to have those stupid socks on.
Did you give her some new socks?
I was like, you have to wear no-shows. She's like, well, I don't have no-shows. And so she sits on my little bench in my room. She agreed to the socks, and she pulls up the dress, and she had leggings on underneath. And I was like, okay, well, I'll leave the leggings today, but we're changing the socks. And it really changed the outfit.
Why did she have leggings on?
Okay, she got a little cold.
It was a little chilly.
There was
Okay,
a
it
little
was a
nip in
little
the air,
chilly.
but it was funny. And then at this birthday party, she's describing that I called her out on the socks, and it was a split 50-50 because people were like, live and let live. What do you care what she wears? And I'm like, I deeply care about her, and she should know it looked stupid.
Yes.
And it looks better this way. But if you're a tier 3, I don't care what socks you have on.
Tier 1, I want to be called out if I look crazy, and also feel like I would say to you specifically, like, hey, what's happening with, like, is this what we're wearing?
Exactly.
But I've never had to say that to you, and all of my friends are very stylish, so I feel like it's more likely they would say that to me than
It's not true.
Okay, well, today we are talking about the fact that your brain is listening. And the reason we're talking about this is because I am deep in the throes of writing, and I am constantly being concerned about by my tier 1 friends of just like, are you good? And what I realized is in writing this book, I'm having to go back to, it was challenging to go back into my childhood trauma. I've done a ton of work around that. But it's always going to be challenging to look at the hardest parts of your life. What I have not done, though, is really go back into my 20s and be like, girl, you were a shit show. And I thought the 20s was going to be like, kind of like, I call it the blackout decade. I was like, this is going to be fun. The negative self-talk, the judgment I've had, and obviously I am judgy toward 20-something me because I'm like, girl, where were your friends? What was wrong with you? And why are you this way? But your brain is listening. This really came up for me, 1, because of the way I've been talking to myself. But 2, because I've been more aware of how hard I've been on myself, I'm also aware of how my people are talking. And I realized that.
Like people in your head or people in your life?
Well, there are several voices in my head.
It's a whole other episode.
We're going to have to do a different episode of that. But this is like more of like, in recognizing my own negative self-talk, it's been easier to see it in my people that I love. And so like correcting it. So we're talking about our brains are listening and we're creating some realities when we are speaking out loud or the voices inside of our head. What is the record that's playing?
Well, I feel like you tricked me into judging your 20-year-old self by sending me pictures of her.
Well,
and then I got in on it, and now I feel guilt.
I do feel like I am like, it was like the spring break that never ended, honestly. Truly. The blonde was blonding, the double D, triple D boobs that the doctor was like, they always want to go bigger. You should just go bigger. Liar.
And you listened.
I was like,
where do I sign?
Just put me in there. Yep.
Put me down for double D's.
So is this negative self-talk, is it the same thing as like personal constructive criticism? Because I feel like that's a good thing.
No.
Okay.
No. This is like looking back at for me in this specific scenario, it's been about looking back at this version of me that doesn't exist anymore and almost like pretending she does. Yeah, I mean, she does, obviously. I'm writing about her, but she's not here
walking
anymore.
Around.
Yeah, she's not like hanging out.
Okay, well, tell us, what have you been saying to yourself? Because the people are going to want to know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't like, this was not on the script.
It's called improv.
I appreciate that. I think the thing that the thing that's hardest to look at when you're looking back at a version of yourself that makes you cringe, specifically for me, I've been beating myself up about measuring myself against some really unhealthy people in my life.
Laura, what have you said about yourself in your head?
No, I want to finish what I was going to say. When your barometer is the most unhealthy people in your life, you can pretend you're really good. And that is what my 20s were. It was like, well, at least I'm not my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but now I'm looking back at her and I'm like, girl, you were a train wreck. So train wreck is something I've been saying a lot. Psycho, which I'm still kind of am a psycho a little bit, but like in a good way, like the psycho you want on your team. She was just great. I just don't like her at all.
So going back, like if you're having negative self-talk about this decade of life, why does that matter today? What does it do? Well,
here's what it does. It's not helpful, at all, because I have to have grace I cannot compartmentalize grace. Either I have grace for myself or I don't. That's the way that I feel. I don't think things like grace get to live in a vacuum. I think you're either like grace-filled or you're not. And so if I'm really judgy of myself then, it's a lot easier to be very judgy of myself now. For instance, this new haircut, which teeters. When I wake up in the morning, I'm 1997 Ellen DeGeneres, okay? I look like I could move some things for you. And definitely don't. But then, of course, when I'm blow drying my hair, I look a little more like anything could happen. Lord Farquaad could come out, and maybe I can get it close to what Elena, my stylist, made it look like.
So did you cut your hair because you were being mean to yourself?
No, I cut my hair because for the first time I'm like, I can take chances and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
And breaking up with Elizabeth felt okay.
Yeah, letting her let go and let live,
Where'd you put her when you were done with her?
Oh, wow.
She's in a bag.
What?
I still have her.
Yeah, no, I just had not thought about that.
She costs thousands of dollars, so I'm
she's
keeping
in a bag.
her in case I need her.
Sure.
Like, okay. What if I had Zach was like, he goes, have you thought about if you have a crisis, if you cut your hair and what can we mentally map? Because this is what happens when you're dating a therapist. Can you mentally map what will happen? Will you rush to put your extensions back in? And I was like, no, maybe, but I hope not. I didn't.
Okay. So do you want to hear about the psychology about this?
I do. I want other people to also, well, one, what do you think? Do you think grace can live in a vacuum or can it not?
I've never heard it put like that. That was really pretty. No, because it's like we know we can't selectively numb emotions. If I numb my anger, grief, or sadness, I will at least damper, that's a word. Okay, dampen, lower my ability to feel joy and happiness and humor too. So I guess my answer would be yes. Like I don't get to selectively emote, so I can't selectively have grace, because if I don't have grace, then to me, the opposite is shame. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this was my decade of shame. It was a shit show, but it was mostly, I lived almost perpetually out of shame. Just hiding, pretending, performing, putting on a costume every day so that people wouldn't see that I was just like riddled and just disgust with myself.
I think back to, I have so much to say, so I'm going to really try to settle in. The self-criticism to motivate behavior doesn't typically work. Like that's different than holding myself accountable to like, I messed this up, I can do better. And this is how. That would be motivating. But just self-deprecating and criticizing thoughts, I don't see motivate a ton of change. And I went into therapy like a couple months ago. And I was like, Grace, listen. Her name's Grace. Perfect. I was like, Grace, listen. I was terrible at these ages. And it was like younger, like 13, 14, 15-ish. And like where were my parents? And where they were was my dad was getting sober from heroin. So like they had some stuff on their plate.
He was doing his work, okay?
Yeah, he was doing his work. Everybody's at on-site and treatment.
And Nessie was just like buckled up and trying her best.
Like she was probably not probably. I'm sure she was in total survival mode. And I looked real cute on the outside. And I was sneaking out and making out like constantly. Like no drugs or anything. It was just boys. And that doesn't take rocket science. Like your dad's in treatment, so you're gonna show your boobs like to other people.
Let them touch them. Touch the nipple. It's fine.
And I like went in ready for Grace to be like, I don't know why. Like that was really bad, you know? And she was like so confused why I was like still wasting time being upset about it. And I have like a super old school therapist. So she will say, I wouldn't waste a whole lot of time on that. And like sometimes it can be that simple. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on that. And like we've talked about here, like the like, oh, of course I did that. But the hatred I have for that age doesn't, I'm not like slutting around now. So like, that's not like I repeated the behavior. But it is like complete disdain. And the move is like, oh my gosh, of course, like what was I looking for? How is that manifested now? So a lot of it isn't rocket science. But to your point of my brain is listening, once we get on this track, even if it was something I did yesterday or 2 decades ago, I will ramp up self-criticism because the brain is awake to I better pay attention to these bad things, you stupid bitch. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's factual information.
And I think that it's what I'm doing, because thankfully I'm through that section of the book and Lord, I'm happy to put it away. But I'm just realizing that like a lot of my survival has been based on almost delusion. You know, it really took me being like delusional. One, you have to be delusional to become an entrepreneur. You just do. You have to believe that you can make it when the
tomorrow.
And the odds are, by the way, only 5% of businesses make it. 5% over a year, right? Over 2 years, you get in like miracle level, whatever. To grow your business over $1 million, that's a completely different thing. So like you have to be delusional. I was always like, I had that, but I had to be delusional to create this world where I could be different and make it above and out of what had happened to me. I love that part of me. I love her, and I want to honor her. But man, oh man, you're like mad at yourself for being a teenager. I was a mother. I was a mom doing some of this shit.
How old were you when Clay was born?
20.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty. Actually, no.
She's saying my behaviors as a teen. She was doing in her 20s as a mother.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And what? Well, yeah, not exactly that, but yeah, some
you
of
wouldn't
that.
have to sneak out. You could just leave.
Exactly. Let them in. Come in the front door.
Come on in.
Here we go. Oh, you want to move in? You don't have good credit? I'll buy you a car. It's fine. Oh, you pulled a gun on me? You can stay in the guest bedroom until you get your shit together. Like, what the fuck? What? I mean, it's just this, like, ridiculous level. Are you freaking kidding me? But anyways, yes. So I've been awake. One of the other things that has really helped me through my life is this, like, that mentality of whatever I focus on is going to get bigger. And what I was realizing while I was in this section of the book is that it was getting bigger and the shame felt heavy again. Like it was like I was back there just like that. And our thoughts do that. Like whatever we're thinking about, we're kind of bringing about. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so as I normally do, I like to fix other people before I fix myself. So I hear people talking shit and I'd be like, don't talk bad about yourself. And meanwhile, inside, I'm like, you piece of shit.
It's the exact opposite of you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on the person next to you.
Right.
That's exactly right.
It's my growth edge. I'm still working on it.
So before we get into like how to fix all of this, do you ever or did you ever do the thing like I'll self-deprecate first so you won't have to do it? Like I'll make a joke about failure or I'm this type of person or that type of person and I'll name it for everybody because then I've already gotten it out of the way. Does that make sense? Like you can't do it to me. Are you kidding?
I was the queen of that. I would walk in a room and basically be like, let me make fun of myself really fast on the thing I'm most insecure about. That way, if you do it, I already ripped that Band-Aid off. Or you'll be like, see, she already got to the joke. Yep, you're welcome. I am the joke.
Okay, I just want to name that. I think that's what I see people doing a lot, not just in self-deprecating, but I'm not going to try this new thing because I could fail. It's like the same concept. Like I'll get out in front of this so it doesn't hurt as bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That doesn't sneeze. Okay, so I used to think positive psychology was like for the birds and because it wasn't deep enough. Like I just thought you like had to get to like the deepest of deep wounds to find resolve.
Enneagram 4.
Of course.
Feel it. Just feel everything all the time.
Emotionally cut. Constantly. And if you're not feeling it, you're not healing it. That was like my big thing. Like you have to feel it to heal it. Like I should have had it. I could have had it tattooed. Thank God I didn't.
Right next to your mahjong tile.
Do you know I got a mahjong tile tattoo with my mom?
No, like recently?
Yeah, at a mahjong tournament.
Cute.
I mean, not at the tournament. There wasn't a tattooed soul in there, but me.
It's like one tile?
I'll show you sometime.
Okay, well, all right.
When this weather finally warms up and I'm in a tank, y'all are going to see.
Guns out.
But so it is a blessing that I did not get that tattooed on me because it could have happened. So what I have learned, what was it? Was it SNL, Jack Handy?
Yeah. I mean, he was a writer on SNL and then he had but he also put out
gosh
books.
Darn it, I'm...
Oh, no,
Who's that?
Well, that's Al Franken doing, I'll think of that character's name, but...
Could you
Yeah.
Could you look it up?
Would you look it up for me?
I'm going to need that as an example because it was made fun of on SNL, and then I'm like, but we're not.
Good.
Stuart Smalley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, and can we have a line?
Yep. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough and doggone it, people like me. Yes. I think that's it. Without looking it up, but yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's the thing. I am not like a big, like you have to like write this on your mirror and lipstick to remember.
God, I love to do it though. Post-it notes everywhere. I mean, not write it on my mirror, but.
So it really works for some people. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do it.
Love an affirmation. Write that shit down.
So, a practical in the moment skill, like, yes, you can be a Post-it person, whatever. But in the moment, let's say I'm driving in my car because I feel like driving, like when you're kind of in quiet time is when your brain, if we've put it on this mission to pay attention to bad things. It's like, I thought of several things you did that were stupid one time. And you're like, I knew it. I'm a piece of shit. And we go down the rabbit hole. So in those moments of self-deprecating, it doesn't really, maybe it sounds like that. I don't know what it sounds like, but I'm only positive. If I catch myself being too hard, too self-criticizing, in that very moment, you have to counteract it with something. And it doesn't have to be positive, but you can at least neutralize it. So it's, wow, I just didn't know what I didn't know then. So that's more neutral. A more positive statement is, wow, I really course corrected. I'm so happy with where I am now. So we have to move the brain, or
even I'd
invite you to move the brain.
Move your brain.
To something like, it is like, turn that car, and then we strengthen the neural pathway of positivity, which we were not evolved to do that. We evolved to see the negative, to be in survival, because like, is there a saber-toothed tiger? Do we have fire? And like, the brain hasn't caught up yet. I don't know the years on that. You don't have to look it up, of evolution, but we had to do it as self-protection. So your brain did what it needed to do in your 20s. Like, delusion and denial are very serving to a survival mode, and you had to have it. And so another way to do it is say, when you recognize, like, thank you so much for doing that, I don't need you anymore. I love that one. Like, when my old survival mechanisms come up, thank you, I don't need you anymore. Like, I've got this now.
Yeah. It's a really interesting, when I recognized how hard I had been on myself, I think that was the thing that came up, is like, wait. Now that I've had my 10,000 hours of therapy, of course, like, I do know that that's like the right response. Like, of course, that's how I lived. I didn't know better. I was measuring myself against like real dysfunction. And so my dysfunction looked kind of healthy compared, right? And I think that is what I've been talking to myself about, of like, girl, but look at you now.
The only times that I think the comparison to like, I'm not as bad as them is helpful is if you're nervous about the gynecologist or the dentist. You know, I'm like, they've seen worse. Like, I'm in good shape here. And other than that, like, it's not a super useful skill to say, like, at least I'm not my mom, at least I'm not that.
Yeah.
That's not motivating.
Well, also, when you get, what I have evolved into is, I want to measure myself against myself yesterday. So can I do a little bit better than I did yesterday?
That's healthy.
Yeah, but not the other. That's bad.
Do you have any questions? Because men, I assume, don't do this, or you've never heard of it before.
I mean, no questions, no notes.
No notes.
The blue taco truck is here.
It lives here. Yeah.
It lives here now?
Yeah.
It left me? Well, they got this. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's still over there at some.
They made a brick and mortar.
Oh, okay.
Wow, you are lucky. Okay. Anything else on this that we've missed?
No, I think it's just encouragement. Like, one, interrupt. If you have been talking ugly to yourself and you're living in a hole, meaning normally when you're being mean to yourself, you're not telling people you're doing it. You're doing it quietly. Tell somebody. Call a top tier friend. Call a tier 1 and say, like, man, I'm really being hard on myself. Can you help me? Or schedule an appointment with your therapist, like I do.
Yeah, and sometimes just stopping the thought is super powerful. You have a high trauma story. Some people are not going to have a high trauma story, but everyone is going to be prone to like self-deprecating thoughts, except for Will Lockme.
Of course.
And when I'm just teasing.
Yeah, that's like my number one, like self-deprecate in a good way. It's like my number one way of thinking. Like all my writing and stuff is all self-deprecating. And
say more. Like, you mention it now, you're like the client at minute 47 that's like, here's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
By the way, I wanted to tell you.
Bye.
well,
Gotta
like
go.
I don't know, from a humor standpoint, like certainly my sense of humor is a self-deprecating sense of humor.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that. Like, and imposter syndrome, but that's a real thing. And I think that's a healthy thing. I think when people don't have imposter syndrome is when I'm like, what's wrong with you? You cocky son of a gun.
But it's not ruining your life.
No.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. This is one of the few times in therapy where I just want to be like, just stop it. Just stop it. And it can really be as simple. Like, I have to just stop the thought and reroute it. And people think they don't have control of their mind, and maybe they don't. Maybe they're not practiced in it yet. But to me, when I talk about mindfulness, that's what I'm talking about. Do I have the ability to, when my brain derails, do I have the ability to bring it back to like what works and what's right here and what's right in front of me? And clients really resist doing that. It feels mundane, boring. It's not as like emoting. It's not that big of a deal. It is the 2-degree shift. When my mind leaves and goes to this dangerous, self-deprecating, criticizing place, can I stop it and bring it back?
Yeah. And that's the thing I just know that if I've done as much therapy as I've done, and I know so much about how I lived that way and why I lived that way. I did it. I'm doing it. And so I imagine maybe I'm not alone. Call a tier 1. Schedule an appointment with your therapist. That's what I did. We can do this, guys. We don't have to be so mean to ourselves.